Papi, baby.
Yo, 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 what's up, y'all? It's Positive Papi, baby. I'm here with my guy, Filthy McDave, creative director, photographer, chef, door manager, you name it, designer, everything, and more. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
I'm excited, dude. We
Yes, I've been trying to, get this done for a minute with you. So
I know, bro. You're supposed to be in season 1.
yeah, and look, but we're here though. So that's all that
That's
matters.
exactly. A to B doesn't matter how you get to B.
It took quarantine for us to get this.
That's all, bro. Just fucking COVID. Just a whole world pandemic. That's all.
Man, but hey,
Hey, at least we're healthy and cooking some fire ass food.
yes. I'm going on day what day is this? 15, 16?
Something like that. That it feels like 30 already.
Yeah, I just counted and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stop counting because
It's not gonna change.
no, not at all.
Yeah, I feel like this might go on for a little while, honestly.
I'm thinking best case scenario, we'll probably be done with this like August, September. And worst case scenario, I'll see everybody spring break 2021.
Pissed. That's just little ways.
Yeah, so I don't know. This is crazy, but hey.
One day at a time. And you know
So
what? I gotta drop this real quick. The podcast is powered by the one and only Solid Coffee. We out here. Normally, you'd have a cup too, bro. But, because of COVID, that awkward moment when the sponsor,
your office sends it over.
I just yeah. But yes, shout out to Solid for still staying open, though. That's gangster. Like, they're like, you ain't shutting us down, baby. We are essential. And I agree that cold brew smack in there. But okay, let's just start. And I got a little list of questions, and then we got at the end.
Run 'em.
At the end, we got a little speed question segment.
Okay.
Super simple, bada bing, bada boom. So talk to me. What's your favorite color and why?
Growing up, it was red. And I would say it changed a couple years ago to yellow.
I love how this is like an actual thought you've had. I love this.
No, like it was like a real thing because everyone that's ever known me has known since I was like a little kid. The red came from because I wanted to be the Red Power Ranger. So everything like growing up, like my first 3 cars were red. I would have like the red in my shoes. Like it was like a real thing. But when I started to fall in love with like photography, yellow became like my favorite color. So that's where I'm at with that. So I have like a yellow couch.
Okay. Oh yeah, isn't your camera body yellow? Actually, right?
It is.
That's hard.
Yeah. So I have like a yellow jacket. So that's like the thing I'm in now. So
is there like? So like the photography, just the way that yellow shot inspired you or something?
Yeah, because I like to shoot like a lot of I was doing a lot of like beauty stuff and like just of people of color and everything like that. I think like yellow is like the best color when it's like just on people of color, like when they have like their skin tone. I think it looks really, really good. Yeah, and then like researching about it and studying like film more and color theory and all of that.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
You're like yes.
I was like, it's speaking to me. So the color is no longer red.
I feel that. Okay. What's one word to describe yourself and why? This is a hard one.
It is, because it's like, what do I want to go?
No pressure.
No, none at all. Teacher.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me. Talk to me. Why?
I'm the oldest of four brothers and one sister. So it's always been the thing where I've just been teaching, and also like over the years, like that's just something that's just become a part of like any projects that I have, and I've been working with kids like for the longest. So like I used to work a lot with like elementary kids. Currently, it's like high school, so I have about 200 kids, like art students in South Central that I work with. So
That's dope, bro. What?
yeah, so like that's just kind of like the thing. Teacher, yeah, because I'm always teaching. Like somebody doesn't know anything, I'll be like, you're about to get an email by the end of the day with links, and I'm gonna show you how to get it done.
I love that.
You know, that type of thing. So yeah, I think that's a good one.
That's dope, bro. So you're the oldest of, you said, four brothers and one sister?
Yes.
Dang, bro.
Yeah, so I'm kind of good on kids. Like, I have a nephew. He's normally with me all the time, but
he's adorable, by the way. We still got to get that play date.
Yes, because it's time, because he's working my nerves. But yeah, so the oldest, I think I'm good. Like I consider like my siblings to be like my little kids. So
I love that. I
was like, we're good. Just be the fly uncle.
So is your whole family creative? Or is it just
it's
you?
Funny, all but one is.
What?
All but one. So it's me. I'm into like visual directing. My sister, I like to cook as well. So she likes to cook. Well, she used to be a NFL cheerleader, but she.
I love how you laughed at that.
Because that's a whole thing, but we're not gonna do this. But she decided to open up her own food truck, so she has like a vegan food truck.
Wait, shout out the vegan food truck. What is it?
It's in Houston.
Okay, word. Well, you never know. We might get some Houston thoughts and listeners. You feel me?
Yeah, she's always around the city. You can't miss it. It's a yellow truck. So yeah. One of my brothers is a singer, and then two are rappers, and then my middle brother. He's engineering major, like so.
Whoa, way left.
But because
music engineering,
he was so this is like chemical, like it's some other stuff. But he wants to get into modeling, so I don't know. So it's somewhere like everybody's like been super super creative, but in the beginning, I think. What I've always wanted to do is I started out like drawing like cartoons. Like that was like the biggest thing I wanted to. If you asked me when I was like younger, I'd be like, I'm going to be a cartoonist with like Pixar. And then it kind of evolved to where I am like now.
Dang, that's really crazy to see how, because that's so different from what you're doing now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
I think it was like around, I want to say like middle school. I had a comic strip in like the local like newspaper. I really, to this day, I wish I would have kept going with that. But when I got to high school, we had like a really, really dope film program. So like you could take like computer animation classes, video production, editing, like all these type of classes. And I was just like, I'm not drawing anymore. I'm about to make movies.
Yeah.
So did that all the way through school, and it was when it came time to go to like college. I feel like the typical parents, they're just like, "Oh no, we just thought that was like a hobby. We need you to pick like a real career for college."
Here's a list. Pick one.
Yeah, so it kind of turned into me, my degree in psychology, and I tucked everything away. And this was right after college. I ended up moving overseas, and then I picked up the camera again, and that kind of is how I ended up where I am now.
That's crazy. Wait, where did you move to after college?
Well, actually, this was my last year. Hold on.
For all those listening right now, my man's just cooking what again? Salmon confit.
No, it's crab stuffed salmon, some sweet potato mash, sauteed greens.
Just casually, he's casually just cooking right in front of the screen. That's gangster as fuck.
This is my little spot in the kitchen. It's like perfect to like set up. Come on, man.
I love it. I am here for it.
Dang, what was I saying?
You're saying about we're talking about after college you moved to.
Oh, this was my last year of college. What ended up happening is I transferred schools that I was at because I was in college in Virginia. I ended up transferring to the University of Maryland, and then I went abroad. So I moved to Japan. And I was in Japan for about 3 years. And what ended up happening is my dad, who's military, ended up moving the family over there. So we all were living over there, and they were on a military base.
That's tight.
Yeah, so when I was over there, what ended up happening is, this is, mind you, I'm in college. I'm not even thinking about creating or anything like that. Everyone would be like, why aren't you taking any pictures or videos? Like, you're like a black dude living in Japan, but you don't ever post anything. So I went on and got a camera, and then it all just kind of came back. I did YouTube blogging, photos, like the videos and everything like that. And that's ultimately how I got like my first job offer. So when it was time for me to leave Japan, that's how I ended up moving to Atlanta. I was like shooting in like clubs.
Yeah, yep.
Like artists and stuff like that. So a lot of the Japanese club owners would be like, well, since you know English and you know your way around like the city, you can be with all these people. So when people, American artists would come over and do their touring, so it was like 3-6 Mafia, B.O.B., Big Sean, and all these people. And I would do their whole Japanese tour. And Japanese tour is like 5 days, and you do like the 5 major cities.
So you were the Japan plug for rappers?
Kind of, like I worked on, because a lot of the guys own all of the same clubs, so I would shoot pictures a lot and stuff like that. So they'd be like, well, you know your way around. So if they need someone to kind of help them out while they're, taking trains and doing all that kind of stuff, you can be around. And what that turned into is I ended up running into Ludacris while he was there. And then through that week of us working together, we made a contact, and he's like, yo, if you ever are in the States and you want like a job, like hit me up.
What? Luda.
What that turned into is probably like a couple months later, it was about time for me, because Japan doesn't play that. They're like, yo, they'll tell you like, hey, you have a month to figure out if you're gonna be here or what you're gonna do, because you gotta leave the country.
Dang.
So I ended up in Atlanta, working with Ludacris at his label, DTP, kind of doing like artist development, tour manager, shooter, and it was a little bit of everything, because it was kind of like sink or swim type of situation. So, my first like real artist that I was working with was TK and Cash, and then 2 Chainz. At the time, he was Titty Boy. So
yeah.
And those were like my first like real clients, like riding around in the old white van, going from like city to city, shooting, like figuring it out. I actually want to write that into like a show, because that whole time of like when I lived in Atlanta was crazy. Because at the time I was working with like Ludacris, Waka, like Crime Mob, Little Scrappy.
And you were literally a creative Swiss Army knife for all of them.
Yeah, like there was like so many things, because the community in Atlanta is so small. Because most people would be like, oh, you're from San Diego, why? And if you wanted to do something creative, why didn't you just go to LA? My whole thinking was, I want to go somewhere where it's not so hard to like get in touch with people. And that's ultimately what it was. I went there, and it's like, oh, you already work with him? So then it opens you up to, because everyone is everyone's cousins in Atlanta somehow. So you can just work with everybody. So like during that time, like any and everybody who I can think of possibly, I either ran into or worked with during that time.
That's tight.
And I think when I first moved down there, my brother ended up moving and he raps, and we were like staying with Scrappy at his house and just on the road, and you just everybody you can possibly think of. And then that's how I started getting into like music videos, and I started taking that seriously. And it's been a crazy ride.
Yeah, and then let's talk about, so then you and your brother started a record label, right?
Yeah, living in Atlanta. I was already like working with like artists. And we all pretty much just lived together. So we had a house there, and in the kitchen there'd be like a studio set up. So they pretty much were like making music all the time. Both of my brothers rap. So at the time, 20 had just signed to like So Def, and then Tokyo was like making music, but he really, just like every other artist, just putting their music out there.
Yeah.
With him making music in the closet, he literally put his song online, and then it just went crazy. Like, I think a writer like blogged about it.
That's wild.
Within like a day or two, you're sitting at like 5 million plays.
What?
And then we're like, okay, we do it again, and then we do it again, and those numbers doubled, and we're like, oh, okay, this is a little different. And then from there, it kind of like started to spiral, because it's like Snapchat. You're seeing like Schoolboy Q and his daughter is singing it, basketball players, and just it started to take a life on its own.
Was that Skirt? That one, like?
No, it was Uber.
Uber everywhere.
And then what really like shifted everything and put it into overdrive was when Kylie started to put it on her Snapchat like every other day.
Dang.
That was like and then it's funny because our first tour that we went on was with Tiger, and then Kylie was on that tour as well. So I was like, dope.
That's small world.
So yeah, during the midst of all of that label with my brothers, they started that. Ooh, this was like maybe 2009, 2010.
Oh, wow.
And I, again, because I'm like helping and I'm like the oldest, it's like, okay, if you guys need help, whether that's I'm driving you guys city to city or taking you to studio sessions, or I think at the time I was on tour with Wiz, like shooting and bringing my brothers backstage so they can like hang out, I'm the plug so you can get in. So, Weasel your way in so you guys can, and now I think 20 has done like 3-4 songs with Wiz, and everybody. It's crazy how everything's full circle.
Right.
Cool. Don't be alarmed, folks.
Right. Hashtag no COVID. Hashtag.
Yeah, we're good. I'm in the house.
His name is Filthy, but he's clean.
Yeah, all the way, squeaking. So that's what the label was in the beginning, and honestly, it was a lot of the artists that were around them, were the artists that they were like signed with. So pretty much all the artists that work with like my brothers have been together for it'll be about 10 years now. So my sister-in-law, she's a rapper as well. She just signed to a record label. She's married to my brother.
To which one?
20.
Okay.
Yeah, and they've been married for like 7 years. But again,
shout out to marriage.
Yeah. But over the years, we've all stayed together. So
that's dope.
In the beginning, it was just like, okay, we can all put our resources together and like figure this thing out. We're just stronger as a unit. And even like to this day, we don't all live together, but we live like probably like 5 minutes away from each other. So
that's
it's still
tight.
It's funny how that worked out.
Yeah.
We moved out, but it was like, oh, well, I'm going to just move over here, but I'll be a couple blocks away, type thing. So,
instead of a bedroom away, you guys are now literally blocked. That's it.
Yeah, and, it's cool to have your own little space, So, yeah, so everyone is all kind of, like, intertwined. It's, like, music industry. But I come from, like, a musical, like, family, though. So it's, like...
It made sense.
Yeah, like, my aunt, she was a rapper in the early 90s, that type of thing. So it's, like...
It was always in your blood.
Yeah,
That's tight, bro. What's been like, I think for me with like hearing your story and like your family, it goes to show that all it really takes is a group of talented people together. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
you can't do everything by yourself. You're only as strong as like your team.
So
And
true.
it's always my mentality from the beginning. And that's one thing I appreciate my dad. My dad was just like, always wanted, my sons and my kids just to be, super, super supporter of whatever everybody has like going on. Because my whole thing is like, if one person succeed, everyone goes. It's not a situation where, you don't have to be selfish or anything like that, or even a situation with me. I think like last year with me taking time off, that was the first time in probably like 7 years that I took time off from touring.
Damn.
But I wanted to take time off so I can like script write.
Yeah.
Because my brothers know that I'm so much more than being, on the road or a tour manager. Like you have stuff that you're trying to do. So that's how I became, uncle dad, my nephew, and I script write every day. But it's like dope because now I've been able to get ideas out.
Yeah.
And, after about the second time of seeing something that you thought about, come to theaters, it's kind of like, okay,
Bro,
that was funny.
Signs.
That was cool. That's cool. But
if I did it.
It's like, it's time to start getting these ideas out, like by any means, because it's like go time. But I'm appreciative of the musical, my journey through like the music industry. But now it's like time for me to like pivot into doing like other stuff that I'm ready for. So
that's amazing, bro. Like that's such a dope outlook and like you're like in this beautiful stage of life. I feel like as a creative, because like looking at your story, I feel succeeded as like within like industry standard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now I feel like you're elevating to that point where you're gonna succeed for your own spiritual level.
And that's exactly what it was. And when I started teaching with like kids, and it's a situation where, all of this stuff is like, it's cool, but it's like, what are you giving back? Like, what is like your legacy or anything like that? So I was like, I got to start like mentoring kids. So that's how it became, me reaching out to a high school in South Central. And it's like, okay, your art program may not be the best. Let me figure out a way I can come in and start teaching, iPhone photography classes, or let me teach you how to make beats with your phones, or, whatever those workshops may be, but give something back. Because at the end of the day, like, all the stuff you see on TV, like that stuff is like cool, but it's like, it's much bigger than that.
So real. I feel that it's so easy though for especially young creatives to I feel every creative goes into this industry of creation thinking, I'm here because I'm so inspired, like life is amazing, I'm about to make some amazing art. But once you're in it and your creativity is legit feeding you and your loved ones, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it turns it from being about creativity to industry success.
This is true. Or you get to a space where I felt like I was... You get to a space where you are booking the gigs and, it's dope, but you are creatively tapped out because you're constantly having to pour into other artists. So with me saying, I haven't been on the road in like 7 years or anything like that, I've constantly helped other artists, which has been cool. It's taught me how to like learn different things, or even the tweet, about me being the stunt double for Waka Flocka. Like, there's been so many things that I've never... I would say that my earliest mentor always told me, learn how to do everything so you never have to say no. And that's just been my mentality. It's like, okay, I'll just learn it just so we can figure this out, so we can keep this machine like moving and like going. So yes, and it's the same thing where it's like I had to figure out exactly what kind of art I wanted to create, or not necessarily feeling lost, but kind of like that, where you don't necessarily, where it's like, okay, what am I doing? I'm just shooting just to shoot. Like, what is this? Like, I need to just take some time away and just do some things like on my own. So I went and bought a VHS camera and started documenting every day. So for the past year and a half, I've started to put it together, but I think as of right now, it's like maybe like an hour and 30 minutes.
Dang.
I'm probably never gonna put that out. Maybe like years down the line, but I think I'm gonna continue to keep doing it.
That's dope.
But I've just been
for every year or something.
Maybe I don't know what I'm creating right now, but I know that a lot of it is like it's my nephew and I.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of just it's the most random things. Like I took him on his first road trip, and it's us like checking into like this hotel in the middle of the desert, and he's like screaming, "We're home!" When we like come through like the door and stuff like that. So it's like a whole bunch of those things.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's like he's kind of like growing up through it. So, but it's giving me ideas for something else. So again, but that goes back to me not having to pour into other people. It's like having like my creativity like wide open.
Yeah.
And I don't take this time for like granted because I don't know another time in like my adult life that I'll just be able to get up when I want to, make my coffee, and just write at my leisure all day long. And it's like, oh, I'll take a smoke break and take a nap, and I'll get back to this later. You know, that type of thing. So I'm like, anything that comes to me, I'm like, nah, write it down. So, you know, I thought 2020 was going to be like my comeback. You know, I'm about to start shooting again. But Corona had other plans.
Hey,
so
you know what?
We're just gonna postpone this until 2021. But it still gives me more time. So it's like I have some days I don't get up and I feel like I want to write, but then there's other days where it's like, oh no, I'm in my bag. Like I heard a new song or something like that. So I'm in a very, very open, like creatively like space, and it's really dope.
That's amazing, bro. How's Corona really affected like you as a creative?
I'm
it's actually helped.
Well, my thing is, if I'm not like traveling or like out and about, I'm home a lot anyway. So like I'm looking at everybody and I'm like, what's everybody's problem? Like, you guys don't like your house? Like, I don't know what's going on.
Why aren't you happy?
But yeah, like, so I'm still doing like my normal routine. So it really hasn't like changed anything for me because I didn't really have anything like set up. So it's not really slowing me up. If anything, I picked up like other hobbies. So it's actually been kind of helpful. I've been doing like this cardio boxing.
Hey.
That's been legit. So if anything, it's been kind of helpful to switch it up a little bit because I already do this anyway, where it's like I get up, either I'm going to like a cafe. That's the only thing I can't do. I go to a cafe, I'll write, do a little workout, and then I'm back at home. So as of right now, I'll say the early stages of it. Check in with me on day 152 or something like that.
I'm dead.
And I might have a different, outlook on it.
What advice do you have for creatives that are like stuck with coronavirus, but they are like hella creatively blocked?
When I get into my mental blocks, well, music kind of opens that up for me. But again, I know some people can't work on, because every creator is a little different. Some people can't work on multiple projects at once. I can, because it allows me to work on something and then I can step away and kind of mentally reset on that and just move to something else. So my biggest thing, figuring out where you can get that mental like reset, or to like so you're not blocked, so the creative block is like no more. I always say find like what works for you. For me, it's like music or photo books, or I can find inspiration from anything. That's probably like my biggest thing doing. And then don't feel obligated just because it is like we're on quarantine that you have to create. Because you may not, that may not be how you create. There are times where I don't want to get up and write. But if it's flowing out of me, it's flowing out of me. But it's not a crime to like, but now I'll put it this way. Always find the time, but don't use it as an excuse every day, because then you're the only person that can be to blame as to why your project is not done. So my thing is like, don't feel obligated, but don't use it as a clutch to where now it's a year later and you still haven't got anything done. So my thing is like, even if you wrote for 5 minutes, that's better than no minutes per day. You're still progressing. So I always say I'll take an inch moving forward every year. if that's what it is, I'm still making some type of progress.
Y'all hear that? Take that inch, baby. It's all right.
Yeah, it's all good. They're like, I know you see some people jumping 6 feet ahead, but it is what it is. Everything is timing anyway.
That's real. I think that's the hardest thing, at least for me as a creative, is being cool with timing. Like, even doing this podcast, bro. This is my second season, and it's like, I've had to shift my perspective to just enjoying the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I feel creatives want to be at that next level already. But
yeah, because you're constantly looking online and
Right.
like you're figuring things out. I'm starting to have people ask me because people are jumping into my DMs because I haven't uploaded anything.
I know my guy out here is
dropped
leaving us hungry.
Since May. Well, that Billy shoot. Well, that really doesn't. No. I'll say like May.
Billie Eilish?
Yeah, Eilish. Yeah.
Eilish?
Yeah, my nephew, he was a model for the shoot, so that was pretty cool.
That's
the documentary and stuff like that. That's like the coolest kid ever. Like, best friends, Billie Eilish, but okay. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Fuck.
It's high.
I feel it. Me too. So that makes this conversation better.
Oh man.
Well, talk about Billie Eilish. How'd that happen? Like, so you and her homies, what happened?
My brother went on tour with her in Europe, and he was an opening act.
Okay.
And then I met her after the tour. So it's like, but it's also chill stuff, like going to hang out. Her mom makes like vegan pizza, and
That's lit.
we just sit around in the backyard and play around. So it's very like normal.
Yeah.
That's tight as fuck. And True's like my nephew is like everyone's like best friend. So when they see him, they're just like, oh my god. So when he's like, it's what is that? Kalani, that's Amber Rose. Like it's so many people like
that's
that
amazing.
just love him and just like, oh my god, bring him by. I want to make him cookies and stuff. So
dang,
it's fly.
The life.
I actually wrote a script like for him. So when all of this is over, I have something for him.
Yes,
so,
please. I can see that being something, bro.
Yeah, that and then working on a cartoon, but the cartoon is more adult, but he's the main character of it, so I'm getting back to drawing as well too. So
yes, bro. Oh my god.
A whole bunch of like, so that's why I was like everything. I'm like hella motivated. So I was like, drawing thing is cool. I was like, okay, well today's a sketching day. I'm gonna just sit in the middle of the floor and we're gonna sketch and draw, whatever. So
do you have any sketches by you right now that you can show the camera?
I do not. But they'll be coming. I got some stuff I'll be putting online. So
all right.
Put me on the spot.
Yeah, I have to, bro. Positive Papi, you safe, dog. You safe.
It's all good. Y'all gonna see it when it come out. But I'm writing the script as well too. So it's like that's all coming together. Like I have like a log of like, because I've always wanted my own cartoons. So what I'll do is whether that's jokes that I come up with on the fly or like some funny stuff I'll just kind of put it into a log.
Oh, that's tight.
Those are what are becoming like with the episodes. That's what I said. It started off as a kid's cartoon, but I was like, nah, this is definitely gonna be like South Park level. So.
I love it, bro. What's the name? Do you have a name yet?
I don't have a name yet, but it's like my nephew. He's the main character.
Is he like a Stewie?
There's like two pigeons that are like his friends. Like it's hilarious. It's just hilarious.
Bro, yes. Let me know if you need to do like a writer's room. I'm down.
Oh no! Like as soon I want to develop the world a little bit more. But that's what I'm saying is like I'm in such like this creative like free for all. I'm like I'm trying to get everything like that. So.
Hell yeah. How do you stay organized? I feel like that's super hard for creatives to stay organized, and I feel like you got it down.
Staying organized. I write everything down. So, and then I like block my days out. So, writing everything down, that's probably the best thing because you can kind of like see it and it's real and it's not hidden away in your phone. So, whether that be like your whiteboard or your notepad or whatever that may be, so you have to visually see something. So I can kind of see like, oh, I need to work on this logo, or I need to do this or do that. And most people will say like, oh my God, there's not that much time in the day. It was like, well, if you organize it, you can literally be doing a million things because you know where everything is
That's
at.
real.
If your organization would be a little bit better, you wouldn't be so overwhelmed. So
drops mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being that you've done so many types of art, when somebody asks you what, like, hey, Filthy, what do you do? Or like, hey, what's your title, bub? Like, you know, like.
I normally, the short of it, if I know they don't really care, like what they're just asking to ask. I normally will tell them video director.
Okay.
But if there's a little bit more time, then, because most of the times I'll get like, what do you do? And it's like, because they'll go and see a little bit of everything. So they're just like, we're trying to figure it out. Right. And then that's when I'll go through everything that, you know, naturally, just because, you know, with my brothers, they've always had an independent label, and now they have a partnership with like Rostrum Records. Yeah. So it's like two independent labels. I've always, being an independent or freelance, anything like that, is just learning how to do things on minimal budgets, but still create, you know, the art that you want to like create.
Right.
So yeah.
What's been like the shittiest budget you've had to work with? Don't have to say any names. Just curious. Like, what was
no, I wouldn't do that. I could though. But
that budget was 10 cents and a motherfucker lollipop in this bitch.
Or I like a photo shoot or a video shoot.
Let's do video shoot.
Oh, well, those are always funny where, you know, I respect anyone's like budget. So a lot of times people will see my work and be like, oh, I didn't hit you up because I didn't think like you want to hear me out. Sometimes if the song is good, I'll figure out a way to work with you. It's going to be on my terms, but it'll still be dope. But you got to do it the way, like, I'll work with you.
That's tight.
But it's always kind of like, it's very funny, like when someone has like a $20,000 like vision, but their budget is like $250. So then, depending on how you approach me, if you're like nice about it, I'll explain like what's the realistic, because people will go on my page and it's like, well, so how much was this? And I'll be like, well, your budget doesn't even cover like the craft services for like what you're asking for. So
not
it's
the
like,
crafts.
Not like that. Like I'm very nice about it, but not like that. But it's a situation where it's like, so I would say probably the worst budget. I don't even want to say like the worst, but no, they were just trying to do too much. Like, and it was just like, no, I don't think I want my name attached to that. It's probably like $200.
Dang.
$200. And it was just because he was just trying to do too much, and he was just like, well, you did this with this video. And I'm like, well, yeah, because we hired this person and this fire, we did this. And it's like, but that led me to a space where I'm in my career now. If it doesn't like move my soul, I'm not going to do it, because there's no amount of money that will make me want to do a project that doesn't align with what, if it doesn't feel right, I'm not doing it. Damn. Because it's like, now you're going to torture yourself with a project. Because those always turn out to be like the worst projects too.
Yep.
I always say like my best photo shoots happen within like 5 minutes. So the ones that I'm most proud of, like I normally will get them. Like I think I shot like this one lady one year. She showed up like an hour and a half late. Like I was over it. And I was like, you know what? I ended up doing like her hair. We changed the outfit up, and I was like, come over here and start taking these flicks. So I hit the camera like probably...
Come get these flicks.
We only had maybe like 2-3 minutes in there. So I clicked the camera like maybe like 20-25 times, and every shot was flawless.
Dang.
And we left, and we went to go eat. I remember we left from the studio. This is when I was in Atlanta. We went to go get some Waffle House. And we were good. But I always say like my best shoots always happen like that. There's another shoot. No, I haven't done it yet, so I can't. Like, I have a shoot that I'm getting ready to do, but I had to order some insects from eBay.
You said insects?
Yes.
Like bugs?
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
From eBay. And they came right before we went into lockdown, so I'm kind of pissed. That was going to be, like, my first, like, shoot, like, back. So, like, I'm like,
So now you're living with fucking bugs?
Well, no. They are taxi. Is it taxidermy?
Oh,
Right?
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
I didn't
fake
want to
shit?
buy the leave ones. The leave ones. That's not correct. I didn't want to buy the ones that were alive because hell no.
Oh shit! I was like, damn, bro, you were bold. You were dedicated.
I'm not getting stung. Like that's not gonna happen. But I ordered like 20 of them. I ordered 20 of them.
Damn.
And I'm not gonna get a makeup artist. I've been doing my research, so I'm gonna figure out how to apply like the insects. It's gonna be crazy, but it's whenever we get off this Corona thing. I said I need to let like at least like a month pass,
Right?
So I can see like if my model's cool, like do a little checkup,
right? Make her do a 14-day quarantine.
But I think I'm gonna just wait. Like it's cool. Like yeah, and I'm probably one of the 5 million people who are writing like Corona-related scripts while we're on lockdown.
Right.
I wrote one, and I think mine is pretty cool, but it's only like a 3-minute. It's like a 3-minute short film, like
yes,
cool,
Well, once this Corona stuff ends, bro, we gotta do some shit together.
I'm all the way with it. Like I'm trying to do whatever it is. Like anybody got something creative? Like I'm just trying to, I feel like one thing about like living out here in LA, I feel like a lot of creatives are like kind of ducked off.
For sure, bro.
And you can't really. It's kind of hard to find them. It's not like how New York and Atlanta is, where everyone's kind of like super accessible and it's more of a community type thing. So
I've heard that about Atlanta before too. That the creative community there is super like dope.
Yeah, so it's like, and that was one of the reasons why I was able to flourish here and do pretty much any and everything that I wanted to, or the random thing about, being a stunt double in a music video.
Okay, yeah, wait. Let's talk about that, bro.
Well, I wanted
That's great podcast material, I think.
Yeah, you know what? I'll leave it on the podcast, but there's something that I want to do else with that. So what happened? I mean, I can tell the story. Like,
yeah, tell the story. Tell the story. Yeah, let's hear it.
So like all creatives, you're looking for gigs. I think at that time I just came off of tour, and it was like kind of like slow. So I was like on Craigslist, and I was like, okay, cool. Let me see if I can find like some PA work or directing, whatever. So I replied to an ad, and a young lady replies back, and she's like, yeah, we need like assistant cameras, to work on this big video shoot. I'm like, so who's it for? And she's like, well, I can't tell you that, but I want to meet with you just so I can kind of get a vibe for you and I can tell you like what it is. I'm like, okay, whatever. I need the money. Like, right. Almost do. Right. So like, let's get it. So like I meet her, and long story short, she goes, the video is for Waka Flocka and Meek Mill, and we checked out your work because they were just, Craigslist, pretty much everybody, sends their work in. But they were like, we checked your work out and it checks out. So we want you, to help out with the creative on the video. And I'm just like, oh shit. Like, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's do it. So I meet with the team at like Warner Brothers. We're going through like the treatment, everything. It's like dope. I meet Waka, his mom, and everything like that. It's all good. So everything's flying smooth, and we get to the day of the video shoot. In typical rapper fashion, everyone's late.
Of course.
Meek gets there first.
He seems like a punctual type.
Yeah, like he was just pretty much, I'm just here to work. Everybody's like smoking. It's like 7 a.m. It's cool. It's lit. You think like it's the middle of the night. So eventually, Waka gets there, and we start shooting. The day is like good. In the video, it's supposed to be like an evil and a good Waka like fighting each other. Oh shit. The final edit, it's a little shaky, but the whole day was shaky, so it is what it is. So like we're like shooting and we're getting through the day, and the directors that came to Atlanta had no clue about Atlanta. So where they picked to shoot the video was like super, super far out from the city. So most people were saying like, this is not, why would you do a video shoot that's an hour outside of the city when you could have done it in the city? So that's a lot of people's like issue. So like, I'm like, oh, my apologies. We'll send drivers in to get you guys. So Waka's getting a little upset because his peoples are not at the video shoot. So he's like, oh, like, it is what it is. So we get to lunch. So this is where it gets a little dicey.
Oh, shit.
I know, I can tell when the morale is starting to go down.
Every time.
So Meek can't really leave because you're not home. But Waka, this is Atlanta. I'm home. I can leave when I want to leave. So I'm keeping an eye out to make sure. And I'm telling everybody, if Waka's trying to leave, please let me know. Because if he leaves, that's a wrap. Like, that's the end of the video. So we're going through scenes like me. We're getting it set up in the warehouse. And then something tells me, check and see if Waka's car is here. So we look out, it's gone. So the reps from like Warner are looking around. They're just like, where did Waka go? And then one of the PAs, I guess she didn't get the message, is like, oh, Waka just said he's going to go home and get some food and come back. Mind you, because of where we're at, if it's an hour from the center of the city, Waka lives another hour out. So Waka lives about 2 hours away. So I told the PA, I was just like, so you let... I said, Waka lives 2 hours away from set. I was like, he's not coming back. And she's like, but no, he said he was coming back. And I was like, no, like, that means he's not coming back. So the label people are looking at me like, so what are we supposed to do? And I'm just like, I don't know. Let me, like, figure it out. So
Wait.
We had, like, a bright idea. Because at the time, my hair was not green. It's like it was just regular, like, long, like, locks.
Yeah.
And I have, like, the tattoos and stuff. So the lady was like, well... The label rep was pretty much just like, well, can you just stand in and we can just finish Waka's scenes with you? We'll just shoot up close of your arm and the back of your head so we can have the inserts to what we've already shot for him. So we have to go back and proceed to, like, shoot. Mind you, I'm...
This is
me and Waka are not even, like, the same height.
Hollywood magic.
We're not. So there's, like, different inserts of the scene to where it's like two girls. I'm supposed to be like a threesome with, like, two girls, but it's like my arms that are, like, right there, and then, like, Waka's in front of me, but it's really like the back of my head.
That is guts.
Because the label, we were like, we can't come back out. He just did this with another video shoot at another time. So I ended up finishing the video, and we shot, like, probably until, like, 1 a.m.
Dang.
And it's just me all over the music video. And, like, there was, like, other parts where it's, like, I'm supposed to be, like, in a fight with, like, this, like, Italian, like, mobster, like, type shit. All from replying to a damn ad on Craigslist.
That story is amazing.
I have another funny story about, like, Craigslist gigs. Like, but that's...
Wait.
And I ended up... Hold on 1 second.
For all you guys listening, this just goes to show the power of Craigslist. It's not always sketchy. You sometimes do leave with all your organs.
Oh, man.
That's wild. All from just responding to a Craigslist.
And I've had that too. Oh, what I was going to say was this was not last year, so the year before, I replied to a Craigslist ad because they needed a van guy to, like, drive. And I sent in a headshot and my work, and then they replied and was like, hey, how would you feel about being a co-host for the show? Well, let me backpedal a little bit. The show was for... It's like a Japanese comedian who goes to American landmarks or people that have went viral in the United States. So they were looking for someone because they're setting up the reality show. So I was going to be the driver. Yeah. But they wanted to switch it out to where I was the co-host.
What?
So I was this American tour guide. I bullshit you not. I have the video. But it'll never be. But
I need to see this.
I'll show you, like, offline. But it was a Japanese comedian who's pretty big. So his show is like what Saturday Night Live is to, like, us. So, like, dang. We shot... I'll say this. I replied to the ad on Craigslist. She asked me, she was like, yeah, we don't want you to be the driver. We want you to be... Because, again, it's my hair. My hair, like, gets me booked for a lot of stuff.
I'm about to grow my shit out. Fuck.
You have, like, a cool look. So, like, she's like, yeah. So I was like, so when do we start shooting? She's like, in 3 days. I'm like, so where are we going? So we went to Seattle, Vancouver, Portland, San Francisco. We came to LA. Then we shot up. We went to Denver, Idaho, Chicago, and we ended in New York.
Bro. And
we did those back to back to back. And what ended up happening is I've never acted in anything like that. But there was, like, kind of like a script because you're going to go meet when we came here to LA, it was a guy who's like a water. What are those guys who like are experts about water? So like I don't know what the name. I forget what you call it. Like it's
hydroponics type person.
No, a sommelier.
Sumale.
Boom, there you go. But he's one for water, so he had us
Wait,
like taste
what?
50 types of water. I bullshit you not. I didn't even know about this.
Did that shit taste different?
He had like a script. Yeah, like he's on his shit. Like I tasted some shit that was like from Norway, and I said, I don't know what the hell this water is that I'm drinking here, but this is not it. But so there's like a script that he give you every day, so it's like you have to kind of like learn it. But we were going along and just kind of like vibing that we kind of went off the script. But that was the most crazy experience that I've ever. And again, that was just because it was like a slow season, and it was just like,
damn.
Okay, cool. I need some work. They telling me I'm about to make like a couple racks or whatever. I made way more than that. Just
bro, I need to hop on Craigslist.
And then it aired. So like I have like homeboys of mine that like tour with other artists and stuff like that. So they're like on tour in the hotel, and they're just like, bruh, did you do like some Japanese TV stuff? This is you on TV, right? And I'm like, yo, it came out.
That is guts, bro.
I was like, I'm never uploading this shit. Like, but I've had other friends too, so that I've done like Japanese commercials and other like random stuff, you know.
I gotta go over to Japan.
That's my Craigslist thing. I have like so many other times where it's been like, but I do see like there's sometimes the big productions, they'll just be like, we'll see what we can get by just going, and it turns out I was like, what? Like the craziest things. So
all you creatives listening right now, get the fuck on Craigslist.
Yeah, like some of it is bullshit.
A lot of it is bullshit.
But sometimes you hit the lotto.
That's amazing, bro. Damn. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. We hit so many topics already.
Did we? How long has it been?
Right now we're at 53 minutes.
Oh shit. Okay.
But let's head to the. Actually, I want to ask you one more question.
Mm-hmm.
What's like the main advice you have for future creatives that are on their way?
Stay consistent, and you'll find your tribe of people who support you. Don't pay attention to the ones who don't. So whether that's like if you have like one person that's like in your corner, then be cool with that. I know because like I feel like social media like ruins everything, but it's great.
Right.
But it ruins a lot of things and like people's perceptions. I can't even imagine being like a kid coming up and being creative and having like social media. Like I don't know what that, you know, because there's so many outside influences. Go with your gut. I'll say that. Go with your gut. And even if that looks different than what you see in front of you. Because that's what makes, you know, the dopest, you know, artist, director, or anything like that. You know? Because just to be you, because there's only one you.
I love that.
That sounded like a draft commercial, and it's really not. But y'all know what I mean.
I'm pissed. I think it's a draft commercial. All right, well, let me draft you into these speed questions.
Oh, man. Damn, we got speed questions too?
Yeah,
Okay,
this right here is the last part.
Oh, okay. No, it's cool, you know.
This feels like my food is ready, bro.
No, it's cool. I have it like, it's on low heat. So
okay, simmering.
But then I got to smoke again. It's all good. It's okay.
Oh, gosh. What are you smoking on?
This is some Louis. Oh, shit. Is it Louis? Yeah. I get weed just from people who have like dispensaries, so it's always good. Like I know that, like some good hybrids.
I'm the same way, bro. With weed, it's like I'm not on that level. Exactly, I'm not on that level of knowing all the strains and shit.
No, see, I'm not that guy, but as long as I can get it grinded down and put it into my bong, like I'm cool. That's like my bong is like, because this gets you there.
One and done.
And I might do 3 if I'm just feeling, you know, I'm feeling it. But
I'm dead.
Yeah, so I'm definitely not one of those guys. I definitely, like, you know, if it's like, the third Sunday in the month, I like a good sativa,
Oh
just
my God.
THC levels. I was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Bro.
Just give me one weed, sir, please.
Bro, can that be a character in your cartoon?
Yes.
Call him...
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Call him Steve the Stone.
I got you.
That's hard.
I got you. Man.
All right. Here we go. Ready for this, bro?
Okay. Shoot.
This right here is fast. It's quick. What's the one skill you would like to master?
Visual effects.
Ooh, what website do you visit most often? Pre or post COVID?
Yeah, can you specify that?
Let's say pre-COVID.
Instagram.
What shows are you into? Or like what's the one show that you go to watch for show?
The Office.
Ooh, what's your claim to fame?
When I was 11 years old, I won the Disney Adventure contest to be a reporter for a year for the magazine.
You're lying. You won?
Yeah, like I have the magazine. It's the one with Godzilla on front.
That's lit.
Titanic that just came out. And I actually went out to like different things and like interview people, and they sent me like a badge.
I always wanted that job, bro.
When I got that, like that's like to this day, like that's like you can't tell me shit. I work for Disney. Who are you talking to? Fuck out my face.
That's what really put you on the map, bro. Let's be honest.
I mean, low key, yeah, like low key, like I was lit, like, and then like you really can't tell me shit because at the time I had my own comic strip too, so it was kind of like, what are you really doing in life? Like I have my own comic strip
at 11,
and I'm a reporter for Disney. You fucking bum, you.
I'm dead. Get out of here, Goofy.
Where's your fucking badge? Get away from me. What's going on?
I'm dead, bro.
Go ahead.
All right. Are you usually early or late?
Early.
Pet peeve.
People that are late.
How often do you people watch?
Daily. And it's fun. I have a funny story about that. Because the apartment complex that I live, like, especially at night, everyone doesn't put their blinds down, so I know all the couples and what they're kind of going through, and just it's a lot. And then with Corona going on, these people just do not care with these blinds open. It's crazy.
Oh,
come
shit.
On, back to the speaker.
Oh shit! What's your favorite drink?
Cranberry juice. No, cran apple.
Oh yes, good answer. What do you hope never changes in the world? That's a good
one. Whoa. That never changes?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. I was gonna say something goofy, but that's dumb. That's supposed to be like the recipe for like hot Cheetos. I just really hope that never changes.
I'm dead, bro. I'm dead.
Well, you know what? The recipe for the kettle, I really like those kettle jalapeno chips.
Oh, those are fire.
And I'd be really hurt if they changed the recipe on that. Yes, no, I'm sticking to that. Fuck anybody's judgment.
Fuck the children.
Just the hell with it.
Wait, so just to clarify, is that the kettle cooked jalapeno never changed the recipe?
Yes, and I stand firm on that. I'm acting like it's Jeopardy. Yes,
I'm dead, bro. What's your dream car?
Ooh, I want a Bronco.
O.J. Simpson has.
But I want a Bronco restored. I want it to be black.
Ooh.
And I also want like a yellow interior, so yellow leather interior. So everything in the inside is yellow. yellow interior. And then I want gold, and then tinted, so it's presidential tint. And then I want gold rims, but I want the wheels to be a little bit, not quite monster truck rims, but a little bit oversized.
Okay, my man's thought this out.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, because I always say, like, when doing like vision boards, if you don't write it out, it's not real. So if you write it out and it's always in the back of your mind, it's something that you're subconsciously working towards.
That's so real, bro.
Message. Put a little sprinkle in there. A little sprinkle sound effect.
I love it, bro. I love it. Music or photography?
Music.
Weed or alcohol? Ooh, that's a hard one.
Weed.
Yes, good choice. Papi and Friends podcast or Papi and Friends podcast? That's a hard one.
Papi and Friends podcast.
Yo, y'all heard it first. That is my boy, Filthy McDave. Thank you so much, bro, for being on this. This has been a good one. This is a good one.
Man.
Hey, well, listen.
All I tell people is wash your hands, smoke weed,
and cook crab stuffed salmon.
Yeah, if you can. I need to go to the grocery store.
You need to do a live stream of your recipes, bro. I'd watch that.
Well, maybe I gotta get like a setup. You know, I have a thing about people like being inside the house, like recording on social media.
All the live streamers right now.
Yeah, it's just a lot. Like it's like 150 people. Like I feel like
it's so much
and it's
work.
funny because I've never went live on Instagram though.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like I want to do. I don't know. Like I gotta figure out something. I thought about doing the food thing, but that was another thing. That was something that I was gonna do. Was start doing like food photography and different things like that. But I might, do something fun. Maybe I might do like my gumbo recipe or something.
Oh,
so I gotta go to the grocery store, but
that's the hard part.
I literally haven't left my apartment since. Hold on, no, let me do some real dates here. The 10th of March.
Dang, bro, 16 days.
Well, yeah, because what ended up happening is that was like my week off from working. So I went and bought groceries that week, and I was like, I'm gonna just be home anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Damn.
And then kind of like shit hit the fan that Thursday.
My man was
like,
prepped on accident.
I was like, oh, okay, well. And then the way that my kitchen is, you would think that I have like a bunch of kids or it's like a full family lives here, the way that my kitchen is stocked up. So like, I'm really low key like good. Like, if they were to say, like, you can't come outside for a month, I'm like, okay. Like, I'm fine.
I love it, bro.
But, yeah, so it's, like, crazy. But I need to go to the grocery store again. But I don't know. I haven't been out. So I'm just, like, I've been doing, like, Instacart.
I love Instacart, bro.
But the thing is, with that, you don't know if they have it until they go. So it could just be a waste of a trip. So it's, like, my whole biggest thing is, like, there's, like, some meats that I would like. Yeah. I'm sides to death. Like, I can cook sides forever. Like, if we go into a zombie apocalypse, like, we're good. Like, we're good for a few months.
I'm dead.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy out here.
That could be your food show. Side nigga dishes.
Cut it out. I think the fuck not.
No, I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that for the podcast because your response is amazing.
That's fucking crazy. My God. Damn, what was I gonna say?
Being stalked.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the camera thing, the Instagram live. I don't know. I think it's something.
It's a whole process, though. Best Buy is open.
I'm thinking about doing like. Is Best Buy? I don't know. I don't want to go anywhere. So
I'm just saying, Best Buy, grab the tripod.
Oh, true. Well, are they delivering?
They might.
Well, I know Amazon is not delivering anything until April 21st.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I've been on Amazon a while.
I think because somebody got sick, if I'm not mistaken, so they shut it down until April 21st.
Damn.
If I'm not mistaken,
I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't know if it was just that warehouse, but I know everyone collectively is like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm just like,
fuck.
I don't know, like. I say, yeah, it's crazy times right now. So,
man. Well, bro, stay healthy, stay blessed, stay creative.
Likewise, you and your family unit.
Hell yeah, bro. We out here, gang, 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 gang.
Oh, don't teach the babies that.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's not that part. Not for the children.
Oh man.
Damn. All right, I'm cutting.